Hi yogis, and welcome to my channel. Today I have an amazing yoga flow for you for the hips and lower back. So we're gonna take it nice and easy. This is a gentle flow, super beginner friendly, but suited for all levels. Now, if you like these kind of videos where we have yoga flows, even healthy lifestyle videos, and all kinds of fun stuff, make sure you tap that subscribe button below so that you can be notified when I post videos. But for now, let's go ahead and get into the yoga. So we tend to hold a lot of tension and a lot of stress in the hips and the lower back region. These are definitely pain points, areas of tightness for many people all around the world. So we just want to take out some time for self-care to really give these areas a lot of TLC, and we're going to be doing this in this practice today. So we'll begin in what we call bound angle pose. This is reclined bound angle pose, also known in Sanskrit as Supta Baddha Konasana. So what we want to do is lay on the back, nice and gently bring the soles of the feet together and allow the knees to splay out to the sides. So we're already starting to get into the hip flexors, and we just want to bring in a little bit of stillness to set off the practice. And maybe we take a couple moments to set an intention for whatever we would like to achieve during this practice, whether that be something physically, mentally, or maybe even spiritually. We can bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly, and put it close to the eyes, just taking a couple moments. And as we do so, just allowing the rise and fall of the chest, beginning to take notice of our breathing. Taking notice of where our body's at right in this moment, not applying any judgment, just noticing, so that we can make a further assessment later on in the practice. And from now, we're going to bring the palms next to the sides, hug the knees in together, soles of the feet touching down onto the mat while we rock the knees from side to side. So bring the knees down to one side and try to keep the hips square as much as possible up towards the ceiling. And we'll go ahead and switch sides. Knees come through center, drop it off to the other side. I like to call these windshield wipers. I'm starting to open up the hips, twisting out the spine, little ring and rinse action here. A couple more times on each side. As we take our inhales and exhales. Go ahead and bring it back up through center. Now we're going to take a nice twist called twisted root. So we'll take that right leg and cross the ankle over the knee. Now this may be too intense, so if it is, we can just keep the knees as so and drop them over to the left. But if you would like to cross the ankle over that left knee, and then go ahead and drop the legs all the way over. So we're in a twisted position here. We'll bring the arms out to a T. And if you feel nice and comfortable here, go ahead and stay. But if you'd like to twist just a bit further, we will turn the neck and the head towards the right side. But each movement that we make, just starting to gauge the body, gauging where we're at, knowing if we need to take it any further or not. Being very self-aware of our body. Really feeling this in the outer hip, and especially in the lower back, beginning to twist and turn that lumbar spine. Good. Let's go ahead and rise back up through center. Uncross the legs, bring that right sole of the foot back down to meet the left. And we're gonna switch sides. So this time, if you'd like to just drop the knees all the way over to the right, that option is there for you. And maybe taking it a bit further by crossing the left ankle over the right knee and then dropping that left knee down towards the mat. Possibly taking the gaze over towards the left. You can leave it or take it. And throughout this practice today, just knowing that I am just your guide. This is ultimately your practice, how you choose to move your body, and you are the one that knows your body best. Slowly sipping in that breath, gentle inhales and exhales. Maybe we notice a difference from side to side. One side might be a little bit more intense than the other. It's totally normal. Good. Bringing it back through center. Uncross the left leg if you have it crossed. And then hug the knees into the chest while we gently wrap the arms around the shin, squeeze the knees in, and gently rock the lower back side to side. Showing some love, showing some TLC to the lower back, giving ourselves a nice gentle massage. Nice and slow, taking it easy. And then we'll begin to rock back and forth. So this time, vertically up and down the spine, maybe give it 3 or 4 back and forth, and rock it all the way up to a seated position. So I'm gonna face you. You guys can stay right where you're at on your mat, but just for purposes of being able to see what I'm doing, I'm gonna turn to face the camera. So we're gonna start by getting into the hips just a little bit more by doing what's called a baby cradle. So while you're in a seated position, we'll start with the right leg like usual. Place the sole of the right foot nice and firmly down onto the mat. And then we're gonna go ahead and lift that right foot up. Take the right hand and place it ever so gently around that right outer edge of the shin. And then we can begin to cradle it in. So we're gonna scoop the left hand, scoop the foot with the left hand, just like a baby. So place it however far it works for you so that we're holding a little baby. And we can bring it in as close as is comfortable for us. We don't want to go too far past that edge point, but we do want to challenge ourselves just a little bit here so that we get that stretch that we desire right down here in our hip. Sitting up nice and tall, we pull it in, and we should definitely begin to feel the stretch right about now. Now, once we arrive, you might feel like you want to stay still right here, and that's completely fine. But if you'd like to take it a little bit further, we can rock it from side to side, finding that sweet spot, maybe even making some circles. And I like to use my toes as the circle maker. So we can use the ankle and the toes going round and round. Whatever feels good to you, because our bodies are all so unique and different. Maybe we take it all the way over to one side and pause for a couple moments. Breathing into it. And take it all the way over to the outer edge. Nice. Go ahead and bring it back through center. We're gonna release our baby. Drop the sole of the foot back down, and then we're gonna cross that same foot all the way over the left thigh. Bring the right fingertips behind the right side of the back. Inhale, stretch and reach the left hand all the way up towards the left side of the ceiling, and then cross that left elbow over the right knee, taking a nice spinal twist. So we're gonna take an inhale here. As we sit up nice and tall, and on the exhale, maybe possibly twisting a bit further, taking the gaze off the right shoulder. Now, we do, like I said earlier, hold a lot of tension and stress in the lower back and the hips. And this is due to a lot of stressors in our lives, a lot of things that we tend to suppress, bottle up, push down deep inside of us. So throughout our practice today, we might be facing some of our own challenges that might rise to the surface, things that might be bubbling up. Just take notice if something does occur and just allow it to be. Use your breath to work through it. This is what helps us to pass energy, to allow stuff to come up so that we can pass it through our bodies and hopefully relieve some stress and tension. Let's go ahead and bring it back through center. Good work. Release both of our feet, and then we're gonna take reverse table, just a nice counter pose here to counteract what we just did. We wanna be nice and gentle with this because the wrist might sometimes get sore here, so just take your time to see what the best wrist placement is for you. You have a couple different options. The fingers can face the seat like this, or you can turn them backwards so that the fingers face the wide edge of the mat. Or your third and final option is to turn the fingertips to face the long edge of the mat facing out. And I think this might be the best option for anybody that has wrist pain. So we'll take an inhale, keep those feet planted, lift up the seat in the hips, and gently toss the head back. See if we can press the hips up just a bit further for 3, 2, 1. Lower it back down. Good work. So we're gonna come back into our seated position, and this time switching sides. We don't wanna neglect this other baby here, bringing the sole of the foot down onto the mat of the left side. We scoop that baby up with the left hand, begin to bend the shin in, and then bring that right arm into cradle. So we begin to bring the shin and the lower leg in towards the chest. Feels so nice down here in our lower hip region. Hip flexor is nice and activated. Let's breathe into it as we begin to sit upright. And again, if you'd like to take some movements, you can make circles with the feet and the leg. Let me take it in the other direction. And pull it over to one side and pause. Take a couple breaths. Take it over to the other side and pause. Bring it back through center. Go ahead and release the baby down and cross that left foot over the right thigh. Take the left fingertips behind the back. Inhale, stretch and reach the right arm high. Cross the right elbow over that left knee and take the twist. So once we twist, let's go ahead and fill up with breath. Upon the exhale, twist a bit deeper. Take the gaze towards the left. Inhaling and exhaling a couple more times here in this position. Beautiful. Let's bring it back through center, both feet planted down. One more reverse table. However you'd like to position your fingers and your wrists. Once the feet are planted, palms are planted, take an inhale, lift up. Pressing up through the hips, gently toss the head back. Taking a couple breaths here. And drop the seat all the way back down. Cross the legs in front of you, roll forward into tabletop. So we've got a neutral spine. Parallel down to the mat, palms are underneath the shoulders, knees fall underneath the hips here. We're gonna take a couple cat-cows, which will also really help with our lower back pain or just helping to loosen us up and provide a little bit more flexibility, mobility within the spine. So take an inhale as you lift up through the chin, tailbone lifts, and the shoulders pull back together as the chest opens up nice and wide. Good. Exhale, arch the spine, press the mat away, chin tucks to chest for cat pose, just like a big scared cat. Nice Halloween cat. And let's take a couple of these on our own. Let's make sure to sync our breath with movement. We want to try to get into our rhythmic breathing here. So inhale, cow pose. Open up the chest. Exhale into cat. Couple more times here. And one more round. Good. Go ahead and bring it back through center. We're going to take the right knee and lift it all the way out to the right side. We're going to take a couple knee circles here. So we'll bring that knee all the way towards the back of the mat and hug it into the chest. Lift it back up. So we're making some circles, reverse circles here. And one more time. Good. Once you hug it back into your chest, we're going to take it in the reverse direction. So this time, bring the knee back towards the back of the mat, out to the side, and hug it into the chest. Let's try and activate that low belly here too, really pulling it back towards the spine. Taking it 2 more times, out to the side, hugging it into the chest, and back, side, chest. Good work. So from here, we're going to bring that knee back down, bringing it back to tabletop. Walk the hands out just a little bit further. So we're coming into a push-up position, and then we're going to slowly lower ourselves all the way down to the belly. Place the forearms down onto the mat so that the elbows fall somewhat underneath the shoulders, and we'll take an inhale to lift up into Sphinx pose. So this is just a nice little back bend here to start off with, really helping us to get into that lower back as promised. Feels really nice. Opens up the chest, big heart opener, and maybe even rocking the hips from side to side. So we can rock into one hip, shifting into the other. And that feels really good in the lower back too. Let's lower all the way back down, drop the chest. Bring the arms back behind you, and we're going to lift up into what's called locust. So we're lifting up the feet, the chest, and the arms. Just for a couple of breaths. And lower back down. Good. Bring the palms back underneath the shoulders. Lift it back up to that push-up position with the knees down, and we'll press it back to child's pose. So widen through the knees, big toes touch, press it back, stretch, and reach the arms forward. Let's just for a moment here, drop the forehead down to the mat and take a couple breaths, really connecting with ourselves here. Let's take it on the other side. Take it, inhale, come back up through center. Coming back to that tabletop position. And we're gonna check this out on the left side. So take an inhale, left knee lifts up towards the left, activate that lower belly. And we're gonna take the knee back towards the back of the mat, hug it into the chest, making some circles here, and back out to the side. We'll do another one here, base, lift it back up, and then on the final round. Once you hug it back into your chest, let's take it in the opposite direction. Take it to the back, lift it up to the side, and bring it back to the chest. Back, side, chest, and one more time. Drop the knee back down, walk the hands out, coming back to that push-up position. Lower the chest and the belly down towards the mat. Drop the forearms down. Take an inhale. Lift up, Sphinx pose. Once again, elbows directly underneath the shoulders. Chest lifts and opens up. And we can take those hip rocks from side to side if that suits us. Amazing. Lower the chest back down. Arms sweep back behind you so that the tops of the hands are down on the mat. We're going to take locust pose. Take an inhale. Lift up. And lower back down. So not only are we working on stretching the lower back, we're working on strengthening it as well. Bring the palms back underneath the shoulders and press it up. Back to the push-up position and back to child's pose. Stretch and reach the arms forward. Drop the head down to the mat. Surrender. Taking a couple breaths. Good. Let's go ahead and bring it back up through tabletop. We're going to move into some standing postures here. So curl those toes under, lift the hips up and back. Coming into our first down dog of our restorative slow flow today. We can pedal the feet out. If you've never done this before, we'll press one heel down into the mat, bend the opposite knee. Might even press into that hip out on the left side or right side, and then switch sides. Opposite heel plugs in, other knee bends. Feeling it all along the IT band on the side of the leg, into the hip. And pedaling one last time here. Beautiful work. Coming back through a neutral center. Let's walk those feet up towards the hands. Take an inhale. Bring the palms to the shins. Flat back. Gaze is slightly forward. Exhale. Fold it in. So we're coming into our forward fold. Also really good for lower back pain. Helps with flexibility along the hamstrings and the backs of the legs. Take an inhale. Root down into the feet and rise all the way up, stretching the arms all the way up overhead. On the exhale, bring the palms down to heart center. So we're going to take a couple sun salutations here with some lunges. So we'll take an inhale, circle the arms high, grabbing onto the left wrist with the right hand, take a side stretch over to the right. Keep the tailbone tucked under as you press that left hip out. You should feel this all along the side body and the hip. Inhale back through center, switching sides, grabbing onto the right wrist, pressing that right hip out this time, opening up the right side body. Inhale, rise back through center, release the wrist and take a small back bend. Exhale, dive it forward over the legs, forward fold. Take an inhale, peek up, flat back one more time to get some length. Exhale, plant the palms down and step it back into down dog. Good. Now from here, step the right foot between the hands. Drop the back knee down to the mat, release the top of the left foot. Inhale, arms sweep high. Anjaneyasana. This is our low lunge crescent. And we just pause right here for a moment. Maybe even pressing into that front leg just a bit further, maybe stretching this left thigh back a bit to really get into the hips. And then drop the palms back down, curl the left toe under, step the right foot back, down dog. Now we'll take it on the other side. Left foot steps forward. Drop the back knee down. Release the top of the foot. Inhale, stretch the arms high. Maybe lunging in a bit deeper, slightly stretching that right thigh back. And drop the fingertips back down. Curl the right toe under. Step it back, down dog. Good. Give the feet just one pedal. And then walk the feet up towards the hands. Take an inhale, peek forward, flat back, palms to shins. Exhale, fold it in. Inhale, root down and rise up, arms sweep overhead. Exhale, bring the palms to heart center. So we're gonna take this same sun salutation sequence 2 more times. We might speed it up just a little bit, so stick with me. Inhale, circle the arms high. Take that side stretch over towards the right. Inhale, back through center. Switching sides. Inhale, rise. Gentle back bend. Exhale, fold it over the front legs. Inhale, flat back, peek forward. Exhale, palms plant, feet step back to down dog. Take an inhale, step the right foot forward, drop the back knee. Inhale, stretch the arms up overhead. Exhale, plant the palms down, curl the back toes under, step it back, down dog. Immediately step that left foot forward. Drop the back knee, inhale, arms up. Exhale, palms plant, back toe curls under. Step it back, down dog. Pedal the feet 1 round. And step the feet up to meet the hands. Good work, my friends. 2 rounds down. Take an inhale, peek up. Exhale, fold it in. Inhale, root down, rise high, arms lift. Exhale, palms lower to heart center. And we'll take it 1 more time through. Hopefully we're starting to build a little bit of heat here. Inhale, arms reach high. Take that side stretch to the right. Inhale, lift high. Exhale, take it over to the left. Inhale, back through center, lean back. Cascading over the front legs. Peeking forward on the inhale, exhale, palms plant, step it back, down dog. On the inhale, right foot steps forward, back and knee drops. Inhale, the arms high. Exhale, plant the palms, back toe curls under, step it back, down dog. You guys know the drill right away. Inhale, left foot steps up. Back knee drops. Inhale, arms reach high. Exhale, palms plant. Back toe curls. Step it back. Down dog. Give the feet a pedal. And then walk the feet up towards the hands again. And this is where we make a bit of a change. We're gonna cross that right ankle over the left and take an inhale to lift up for some length. We can keep our fingertips right down on the mat. Exhale. Fold it in. Just giving us a little bit more of a dynamic stretch here. Inhale, slowly rise up. Sweep those arms all the way up. And as we exhale and lower the palms to heart center, bring that right foot back to its original position, feet next to each other. We're gonna do a little bit of a balancing posture here. Take an inhale, lift that right knee all the way up. We're gonna interlace the fingers around the shin and pull the knee in towards the chest. So really feeling this in the hips here. We can point through the right toe, making this more of an active stretch here. Really root and ground down into that left foot. It helps to tighten the lower belly for balance and stability. And then lower the knee just a bit. We're gonna pull this right knee out to the side. So if you would like a visual, it looks something like this. Just opening up the hips here. We can bring the left hand to the hip. Once again, pulling that belly button back towards the spine. Bring it back through center. And then slowly step that right foot to the back of the mat. Ball of the foot down onto the mat, coming into crescent warrior. Arms reach up overhead on a big filling inhale. So we have prepared that right hip for this big position here. Just pausing here for a couple moments. Let's take one more round of breath. Take an inhale. Exhale, fingertips drop down, surrounding that left foot. And then we can rock back and forth, maybe make some circles with the hip. Just kind of getting into our own little groove here. Whatever feels good, rocking back and forth. Good, go ahead, drop that back knee down, release the top of the foot. And we're gonna shift the weight back towards the right heel. Lifting that left foot up, coming onto the left heel, stretching and reaching the fingertips forward, coming into half split. This is another lower back release, which also really works into the back of the leg, the hamstrings. Working to pull the crown of the head towards the toes. And we can even play around here with pointing and flexing the foot, just to get a difference in sensation. Take an inhale, bend back into the left knee. And we're gonna begin to heel toe the left foot over towards the right hand. This is a big, giant stretch that we have done a lot of preparation work to lead up to this point. And we're gonna drop the shin down. We're working to get the shin parallel to the front of the mat, but that doesn't always work. A lot of times the leg wants to bend in, and that's fine. Honor where your body's at. We begin to slide that right thigh back. Place the palms down into the mat, just like two little tents. And lift up through the chin and the chest. Really feeling the intensity here in the outer left hip and the lower back. Even in the glutes. This is where we really want to utilize our breath. Let's go ahead and surrender forward. So we might just bring the forearms down, or maybe we can lower just a bit further, dropping the chest and the head down. We're going to spend a couple moments here. So see if you might be able to find a little bit of comfort in any intensity or discomfort that might arise for you. Use your breath. We're over halfway through, and stick with me here. Breathing through any sensations. You might have emotions rising up to the surface. Just allowing ourselves to be present with them. Not trying to run the other direction. Just sitting with the experience. Take an inhale, begin to rise up. We're going to keep this left leg bent in, and we'll turn to face that back edge of the mat. So keep the leg bent in and this leg extended out long. Turn to face that right leg and fold over. Getting into the lower back, the side body. Inhale, rise, turning back to face the front of the mat. We want to bring the top of the right foot down onto the mat. Keep this shin and the knee down, and we'll take an inhale. Make sure the right palm is planted directly underneath the right shoulder. Lift the left arm high, take a twist. Breathing into it. If you feel comfortable here and you want to twist a little bit further, you can even bring the left hand behind the back, opening up just a bit further. And go ahead, bring it back through center. Curl the right toes under so that the ball of the foot is back on the mat. And then press it back into down dog. Give the feet a nice little pedal here. And we're gonna take this nice little flow on the other side so we can even it out. So walk the feet up towards the hands. This time crossing that left ankle over the right. Keeping the fingertips down, take an inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold it into this nice, juicy forward fold. Inhale, rise up. Sweep the arms out to the side, all the way up. And once again, as you bring the palms to heart center, even out the stance, bring the left foot right back next to the right. And from here, we're taking that left knee, bringing it up towards the chest, toe pointed. Go ahead, interlace those fingers and pull that knee in towards the chest. Activate the lower belly. Finding our balance, rooting and grounding down into that right foot. If you fall out of it, that's totally fine. Just being able to get right back up and back in it is all that matters. I wish I could say that it would only be a yoga pose that would bring us to a state of enlightenment, but that is just not true. Let's go ahead and open the left knee out to the left. Bring the right hand to the hip. This is nice and activating in the right hip as well, the glutes. Bring it back through center. And then nice and slow with a lot of control, step the left foot all the way back. Get your stance nice and grounded. Left ball of the foot down. Inhale, sweep those arms all the way up overhead. Here is our crescent lunge that we have been preparing for. So now we feel a lot of sensation in the hips and the thighs. And our body should be nice and prepared for this. I've done a lot of work leading up to this point. Take an inhale. Exhale, drop the fingertips down, and we will rock back and forth, maybe even making some hip circles, whatever works for your body. Just preparing for that pigeon on this side. Got a couple steps to go before we get there. Go ahead and drop the left knee down. Release the top of the foot and shift the hips back towards that left heel. Coming up onto the heel of the right foot, flexing that foot, stretching and reaching the fingers forward, and pulling the crown of the head towards the right toes. Our half split. Once again, if it suits you, you can play around with pointing and flexing the right toes. Take an inhale, shift it forward. Begin to heel toe the left foot all the way over to the left. Drop that shin down so we bring that right knee behind the right wrist. Slide the left thigh back. Put the fingertips down into the mat as you lift up through the chin and the chest. Getting that nice juicy back bend. One more round of breath right here before we surrender down into our pigeon pose. And go ahead, lower it on down. Finding some silence here. About halfway through, stick with me. Seeing where you can soften, if you might be tense. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears, the jaw muscles, the face. Inhale, slowly rise. Good, coming back to that nice back bend position and then repositioning ourselves towards that wide edge of the mat, keeping the right foot nice and hugged in, extending the left leg out long, turn to square the body over the left leg and fold forward. Coming back through center, and we'll bring it back towards that front of the mat. Keep the shin down, left top of the foot down. Make sure that left palm is underneath the left shoulder, and we'll take our twist. Take an inhale, right arm stretches all the way up. And if you'd like to take the option to deepen it, the right arm can wrap behind the back as the chest opens up a bit further. Good, coming back through center. Let's open back the toes. Left ball of the foot down on the mat, and we'll step it back to down dog. Sorry, my dog must have heard somebody at the door. We'll go ahead, shift it forward, drop the knees, coming back to our low push-up position. Lower down to the belly. Bring the forearms down onto the mat, coming back into that Sphinx pose that we took a couple times earlier. rocking the hips from side to side. And maybe we notice that we've made such a big difference in the body, feeling nice and loose, opened up. Maybe we've been able to move some stress, some tension through the body. Let's go ahead, drop the chest back down, bring the arms back behind us, taking locust pose again. We're gonna hold here for 5 seconds. So we'll take an inhale, lift up the chin, lift up the chest and the thighs and the arms for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower it back down. Palms come underneath the shoulders. Press it back up. And we'll come back into tabletop. Good, so we just wanna take a couple quick back bends here. Rising up onto the knees, we're gonna take what's called camel. One of my most favorite back bends. It can be rather challenging, so we're gonna go ahead and start with this position. We'll take this 3 rounds through. Bring the palms to the small of the back to start, and take an inhale. Lean back, so we press the hips forward and begin to lean back as much as possible. If you feel like you can take this a little bit further, reach back for the heels or the ankles. Open up the chest, gently toss the head back. This can bring a lot of emotions up to the surface, so just breathe through it. We might even experience a bit of nausea. It's completely normal. Inhale, slowly rise back up. Bring the palms to heart center. Tuck the chin to chest. Just a nice counter pose. All right, let's get ready for round 2. So wherever you'd like to go here, we'll start with the palms on the small of the back. Take an inhale. Lean back. Inhale, coming back up through center. This time, let's go ahead and bring the palms up, touch them together above the head, bend the elbows to bring the palms behind the head, and we're going to drop the chin to chest. Good, go ahead, release, preparing for our final round here. Bring the palms back to the small of the back. Inhale. Exhale, lean it back. Maybe we're able to deepen a bit further this time, but if not, no worries. Honor exactly where you are. Inhale, rising back up, palms to heart center, chin tucks to chest. Good, let's drop back into tabletop. Shift the weight into the right or the left hip and swing those legs all the way around. Soles of the feet down onto the mat. Extend the arms long in front of you. And we're going to slowly lower onto our back. So at a snail's pace here, we are in no hurry. Really activating the core, building those core muscles to help support the lower back. Nice and slow. We're still not there. We still haven't arrived. Even if we're shaking and trembling. Good. And then lower all the way down. Beautiful work. Hug the knees into the chest. And drop them off to the right side. Arms open to a T. One more nice twist like we took when we first started. Gaze follows to the left. Inhale, bring the knees back through center. Let's drop them off to the left. And then gaze twist over to the right. Inhale, bring it back through center. One last big tight squeeze, a bear hug. Wrap the arms around the shins. Let's bring the forehead towards the knees. Inhale. Exhale, release the legs to the corners of the mat. Allow the palms to fall by your sides, making sure that we don't skip Shavasana. It's one of the most important parts of our practice. And take rest. Begin to deepen your breath. Add movement into the fingers and toes, wiggling them back and forth. Gently move the head from side to side. Let's take a big, giant filling inhale and extend the arms long overhead. Point through the toes, big full body stretch. Exhale, hug the knees back into the chest. And you can either turn off to the left or right side into fetal pose or rock yourself up to a seated position. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope that this practice was able to relieve some hip and lower back pain for you, get you nice and stretched out, feeling more flexible, more mobile. And as always, if you liked and enjoyed this practice and you